Hello, and welcome back to Flute Salad. Welcome to a lovely little game I like to call Planet Coaster 2, and I call it that because that's his name. Ah, banger. Whoa, whoa. Yes, welcome to Planet Coaster 2. We're going to be actually doing the start of a little, another attempt series. Now, don't worry, Just Cause hasn't gone anywhere. To the one person that watches the Just Cause series, hasn't gone anywhere. It'll still be coming up, but I want to do this as well because I bought it because it was really cheap. Whoa! I bought it because it was really cheap on sale, and I've never actually played. Oh god, I've never actually played Planet Coaster 2. I've seen lots of footage of Planet Coaster 2. I've never actually played it. But anyway, let's begin. We'll do a sandbox, we'll do a new park. So we've got different biomes we can choose. So the sort of thing is, they've added a sci-fi pack in. And I sort of had the idea I wanted to do like a sort of crashed spaceship or on an alien world sort of vibe. And it's like a big crashed spaceship. It creates a big crater in the middle. And a lot of the park is based in that crater. And some of it's based outside, but you know, it sorts with this. You sort of go in, and a lot of the park is in this massive big crater that's got a crashed spaceship in it. So really, I need something that's got good surroundings. They've all kind of got trees around, which is not really what I want. But I guess I'm gonna go for. I guess I'm gonna go for. I guess tiger, maybe. I mean, what's the most like an alien world? I mean, none of them really. We'll go for tiger though. Park settings, sandbox park. Oh, so you can actually change a bunch of the settings. So we can change default sandbox, or I don't want to do power management and stuff though. We'll do custom. Can I do custom? Okay, so yeah, we're gonna turn all power and stuff off. I don't want to be dealing with power and vandalism and stuff. I just want to be making a fun little park. Guess we'll leave this as, I'm sure we can change this later on. Yeah, performance can be affected, so I'm sure we can change this later on. We'll leave their moods and their preferences and their hunger and stuff on. So, you know, they need to go to the toilets and all that stuff. We'll leave that bit on, so the guests are just normal people. That's off because we've got power off. The angle of track placement limit is there to avoid creating coasters with overly sharp corners, steep hills, for example. If enabled, these limits are extended to give you even more freedom. I want a little bit more freedom, yeah. Staff pay, yeah, we'll pay the staff. I don't really care about that, but we're not going to have them quit, and we're not going to give them morale, and we're not going to let them have breaks. So they'll always be manning our station and everything. Pools, we're going to turn. Yeah, I just want pools. I don't want to have to maintain them. And we'll have unlimited money. Turn off the research tree so we just have everything. Guest refunds, don't really care. I've got infinite money. I've got infinite money. Loans, all that. I've got infinite money. Cool. Is this the name for the park, or is that just the park settings? I don't actually know. Let's just say it's Great Park. I assume this is the park name. So I'm going to call it the Spaceland Fun Times Park. Perfect! Great park! And here we are. Now, I don't actually know what my controls are, so I've not actually played this before, so we're going to spend the first little bit of this going into the... I want to look at the controls. Oh my word. Yeah, camera. There's a way you can change the camera type. Free look camera is shift. That's what I want, and then we can honestly work the rest up from there. That is not my free look camera. Oh, that's because I'm on that. No, get rid of that. Free look camera. Good, this is going well. Good start to the series. Yeah. Camera view modes. How do I free look? What is the button to do? I don't know. But now we've got free look so we can zip around and move around and everything kind of makes sense. So here's all our guests waiting at the entrance. Actually, I think I can turn on like no clip and stuff in the settings somewhere. I don't know how. These people are turning up, realizing the park's closed and then leaving, but screw them. Today we're going to be doing landscaping. And honestly, this is fairly spacey. Really. Yeah. Can I change that camera lurch off? Sorry, it's really annoying. I don't want the edge scroll speeds. Right mouse drag. No clip. I will turn the no clip on now anyway then. That's just the mouse sensitivity. That doesn't actually... Does it? No. No. Okay, well, whatever. So, we're going to go to... scenery brush. And I can get you to erase, right? I get you to erase. How do I erase? That's putting them down. I don't want to do that. I want to erase. You know what I can do? I can just go, like, zoom all the way out. And just select everything in the entire park. And then just say delete. No trees, no rocks, no nothing. We'll make them all up ourselves. Yeah, everything goes. Even the entrances. Did I just get rid of the entrances? Yeah, I just got rid of the entrances. That's fine, because maybe I don't want them there. So, can we actually... I don't know how to change my flying speed, but there you go. That is the border of the park there, so we can't actually do anything about this water that's here. Okay. Well, first things first, let's go into our terrain tools, and I'm just going to flatten the entire land completely flat. It's as big as I can go. It would seem so, yes. Go all the way up to the borders. But I want the whole thing to be completely flat, and then we can build off from there. This park doesn't seem very big, but I think it's slightly misleadingly large, to be honest. Also, I want time. I want to fix sun on, have it set 3 PM? Yeah, we'll go for 3 PM. Oh, wow, very, very mountainous area. Flatten all this off. Die. It's going to be a very, very slow series as well. If you're expecting quick, fun action, this is not the place for you. This is me probably very, very slowly building a theme park. Slice this mountain off. We'll fix that later on when we get to it. There we go. Obviously, we need to paint the whole environment as well. Honestly, I'm trying to. This just seems really quite small. I think it's misleading though, because you've got all those mountains up there as well, which I can cut off. Oh god, that's too high. There we go. Oh yeah. Making progress. Do. Right, I've also turned off all the collisions on everything, so nothing, no rides or anything we'll have to worry about collision with the water or anything, we can just build and then make all the stuff work after the fact, which I'd much rather have than be very sort of limited about what we can and can't do with it. So turning that up to maximum, see if that actually makes it go any quicker. Oh, that makes it go way quicker. Oh, I should have been doing that from the start. Okay, making progress. Yeah, no, that's so much quicker. But yeah, look, little pockets like that of water are gonna remain because I've got the scenery lock on, off, whatever. You know what I mean? Unless you don't. Unless you don't. But yeah, I thought it'd be nice to have a little crash spaceship sort of sci-fi thing, because I've not actually seen anyone play with a sci-fi. I've seen a lot of stuff from this game. Specifically, have you seen Nerdcube series on it? I love that. I look forward to that every single week. I think it's a cracking good series, and you can really see his evolution in sort of design and knowledge of the game as time goes on. And also you can see the evolution of the game, because he started when the game first came out. And let me tell you, this game was in a super rough launch state. It was not very good. I'm just going to encompass those bits of water. I hope they don't harm anyone. But yeah, that sort of whole park he's got going there, I really like the vibe of. He's got sort of spa sort of thing, but I want to go really as complete polar opposite as from that as I can, because a lot of the time I fall in the trap of just copying people, and I don't want to do that. I want to do my own thing. So I thought sci-fi, that's one he's not touched on, which is impressive given the fact he's a sci-fi author, but there you go. Ooh, that's strange, isn't it? Alright, cut all this out. Nearly there now, and then we can start building off our park from there. But yeah, I definitely recommend that series. Even if you're not sure about this game, I definitely recommend going ahead and watching that. It's really quite enjoyable. Again, this is going to be a sort of unedited thing that I'm doing, since this is a attempt series. I'm not going to be editing this and chopping out all the boring bits like this. This is going to be a sort of there from start to finish, sort of slow paced series. Maybe I might do the odd thing in the park out of video here and there, but for the most part, this is going to be it. Right. The hell is that? Oh. Right, I think that's more or less the entire park flattened now. I'm just going to quickly get rid of all of them that we've missed. If there's any over there as well. There's also this strange little water patch that we've got going. How do I speed up whilst flying? Don't know. Let us get rid of the water and then flatten that away. Right. So with this park, first off, we need to establish where that... What the hell are you? Are you just little bits that have left? Oh no, you're the guests that have got nowhere to go. Hello, friends. There's something over here that I've clearly missed. Oh, is that another water patch? I think it's another water patch. It is. Pop. And flatten that out. Right. So I've got to think about this logically. Do I want the guests coming in looking at that, or do I want them coming and facing sort of this way? Because I can place the entrance wherever I want now. You couldn't do that in the first game. Honestly, I'm not sure I want them really knowing that the big river lake is there. So I might put up a sort of mountain which runs along sort of outside of there. Have them come in here and have a big crater in the center. So if we go to, I can also change the materials I've got. So there's, in fact, let's go to, let's have a look at some of these. So there's grass and grasses, gravel. I'm trying to think what would be right for our spacey space landscape. Shrubs. And then we've also got large rocks and just auto paint. From these, honestly, a mixture of the sort of gravel. I wish you could change the colour on them. I wish I could make it a bit more red. But oh well. So that does that now. Okay. So, oh yeah, I want to sort of pull up a sort of rough, sort of mountainy shape, and then we can freeform it all. That's not doing what I want it to do, but okay. We'll sort of pull up a rough, sort of mountainy shape up along here, along this edge bit. Because I don't really want the guests to be able to see the water, apart from maybe in very specific circumstances. There's a particularly tall ride, but for the most part, I want it sort of to be hidden. Sort of be like a Mars landscape. Maybe there's not too many trees and bushes and stuff like that. Maybe there's some in maybe a restaurant or two that we can put down, you know, as like decorative. But for the most part, I don't really want natural shrubbery to be a sort of viewed sort of thing. God, this is gonna have to go up quite high, innit? Why don't I just do this? Because it doesn't hardly work. That's why. Okay, makes sense. Makes sense. Smooth and rough and all that as well. So basically, I'm just rebuilding the thing I just destroyed. Yes, but that's all part of the creative process. You gotta tear down things to know what you want. And you gotta know what you want by tearing down things. Let's put that on, oh, I can do a user selected. Yeah, that would have been nice the whole time, wouldn't it? Yeah, I'll repaint over it anyway, so it doesn't really matter. This spot is obstructed by Whomst. Whomst is obstructing it. How tall even is that? Where are our guests? They're over here. Oh, this is quite a large area, actually. It's very, very deceptive. Hello. Oh, that is not nearly tall enough. Although you can't see the water. It sort of just blends into that other mountain. But yeah, we want to bring this whole sort of thing up a little bit. There we go. Yeah, there's probably ways to fly quicker. These are all stuff I'll learn as I go. If you happen to be some sort of expert on this game, you know, feel free to comment advice and tips and things you might want to see in the park, and you know, join in. This could be a fun little collaborative experience for all. There we go. And then we can do other stuff to it to make it look a bit more natural after the fact, because at the moment this really doesn't look natural at all. But it's fine. Obviously, we'll do loads of painting and stuff on it as well. Give it sort of. I want it to look a sort of Mars moon sort of. Like, what the hell did my thing go over there for? A sort of Mars and moon based little like vibe to it. And again, we can always change these things later. I just want to get sort of a rough shape in for it now. And then sort of bring it a little bit higher up as we go towards this end, because this bit gets naturally higher anyway. There we go. Sort of you want to bring it out into the terrain a bit as well, so it's not just like a flat wall of just rock. Alright. There we go, it's starting to take shape a little bit more. Just sort of block that view of the ocean. Give it a sort of slightly layered aesthetic, and then bring these back bits up even a tiny bit more. Right. There we go. Let's have a little quick check down here from the floor. Whoop. Yeah, no, that's alright. And then we can roughen it out a bit. Ooh. Just sort of create a few more little valleys and dents, and just quickly run it over. Create a few little more valleys and dents, and yeah, just shape the terrain up a little bit more, so it's just less flat. There we go, there we go, run it along, run it along. There we go, we're making some serious progress now. And then there's other things like chisel. What does that even do? That just sort of brings things back a bit, so I can shape, you know, little valleys like that a little bit better. And maybe I want to smooth this little path that runs up over here. Smooth that a little bit out. There. That's looking alright, don't we think? Ooh, let's have a little guest-based view. Hello. Yeah, I think that's fine. I mean, the question really becomes, where do I want them to actually come in from? Because I am actually thinking maybe have them come in from this side, sort of have them emerge from the rock. And then, they're here. Because you get... excuse me, friend. Die. Because you can sort of see a lot of the mountainy bits come out through here. I think that's quite nice. That means I'm going to have to pull that whole bit forwards as well, though. And sort of, I want to encapsulate them in a bit of a tunnel. They sort of emerge from a mountainy, tunnely bit into the whole area. Really quite hard to judge scale as well. Bring that up, 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 bring that up. Okay, yeah, I do have a light. And then take the scale of that way, 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 way down, and then push a little, whoops, that's not what I wanted, flattened foundation, a little sort of path in here. That's where they'd come from. So they'd come from in here, and then they come out, bosh, into this. I think that's a nice little thing. How do I... Customizables and extra... Oh, you can put bins on them, be automatic. That's nice. I like that. Holy shit. I like that. Don't know how to make the entrances and exits. Will they be in facilities? Just search entrance. I don't know how to actually spell entrance. Scenery, staff, facilities. They'd be in facilities, right? That's all just like buildings and stuff, though. Staff, cities, utilities, shops. How do I, that's the question, is how do I? The answer is, I don't know. I mean, there's a scenery. We can, go show me, scenery themes. We'll go sci-fi, and here's just all the sci-fi bits. A million different sci-fi bits and sci-fi walls and benches and animatronics of little aliens and ship parts and stuff like that. All that we can all put in. Quite nice, quite nice. Big doorways like that. Cool, a lot of stuff like that. But first I need to work out how do I? That is the question. That's just a scenery brush, that's just the terrain. Path. Queues, staff paths, normal paths. Is it not in maybe it's a scenery. I wanna turn that off. It's not park entrance. Fireworks, speakers. How do I This is going super well. Blue swirly paths. Invisible path, vertical wood planks. Customizable extras, railings. Browse extra paths. That's just, oh, that's path extras, not extra paths. Support's on. Well, this has gone really, really well. I think it might be a Google time. How to place park entrance, Planet Coaster 2. Head into the custom creator section for facilities. And look in the 3 people icon. Of course, where else would it be? Park entrance. Here it is. How do we rotate? That is now the next question. Is it Q and E? Is it R? Is it Z? It's oh god, that's done something. Hang on. Z is your rotate. Okay. Turn on our little light. So we can have a few little entrances. Here and here and here. And that's where our people will come in, and then ferry gets entrance, coaster gets entrance. Entrance gate, I assume we're going to need an entrance gate. And then we can get our paths. I don't know what sort of path we're going to want right now, but we can repaint it afterwards, I think. I hope. So, we'll just get that to be the default path. We want that to be line width of probably 12. Yep, it's 12. And angle snap off. Bring that out to there. There we go. So our people should be able to... Yeah, they can now come in. They can walk in. Okay. Blah! That's not what I want at all. There. So I'm going to encompass that whole bit, and then they actually come out here, so they walk for a little bit and maybe get glimpses as they come along. I think might be quite nice. Let's build this bad boy in. There we go, and then do our roughens and chisels. There we go. Okay. Where the hell was the entrance? It's here. Turn that scale right the way down. There we go. So you have to walk all the way round. Okay. And then let's push the whole thing out a little bit. So it's a sort of cool little cavern time. Okay, people are just walking to the end, seeing there's nothing, and then coming back again. Yeah, I like the vibe of this. And then maybe cut out a little hole in there, so you can just get a little tiny down. You can just get a little tiny glimpse as you're walking along of like mountains and stuff. But for the most part, you are encapsulated in the dark. There we go, there we go. You tap them, but that's what I was gonna say as well, you know. There we are. And then you come out into this a little bit. Yeah, I think that's quite nice. Right. I want to work on the sort of cratery bit. Now I want this to be really quite large because again I want the majority of the park to actually be in it. So if I just go here and dig a little tunnel, so maybe to there, and then we'll flatten and bring it out. In this shape, which isn't anything like a crater at all. I mean, really, we want it to even maybe be bigger than that, don't we? Something like that. This is going to take forever to carve out. Do we think that's too big? And there'll be a few little rides and stuff you can go off and do over here. And then here you have this big, massive thing. No, I think that's an okay size. I just now need to actually, you know, dig the literal entire thing. Oh, I'm only on a tiny little scale. That's better. And I mean, really, we want the majority of it to be quite flat on the bottom, because otherwise it's going to make it an arse to actually build stuff on. There we go. Oh yeah, now we're cooking with gas. Carve all that down. The music has cut out and it's really quite troubling now. Where's my happy-go-lucky music times? There we go, nearly there now. Perfect. That's not too big, is it? I mean, it's very quite large, but no, I think that's fine. It's that's nice. Okay, and then obviously we want around the edge to have a little raised bit because they have a little raised bit around that edge most of the time. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. It can be pretty rough. And then leave this bit open here so you can still actually see it when you're walking along. You're going along here and then you can see a little gap still through the center. Yeah, that's nice. Give all these edges a bit of a roughen. Around the outside. And then we'll get to painting, which will be a lot quicker than doing all of this. And then the actual main crash site, I think I want to put in the very, very center. I'll have it be like another little indenty bit comes down here maybe. And this bit you can't get to. Maybe a bit higher than that. But it's like lower and you can't get to this bit, but that is the bit where the actual that's the bit where the actual ship is, down there. So you can come in and you come down into the actual crater down here, and then you've got all this other stuff and rides and stuff you can go on, and down in the center is where the ship has crashed with like fire and smoke coming out of it. I think that'd be quite nice. Right, let's get to painting. Really, we're just going to try to cover everything in this, and then we'll bring in other materials as and when we can, because it's going to be very, very plain if we just have just pebbles. So we'll sprinkle in some other materials in there as well. But for now, I'm going to quickly create the sort of vibe of alien landscape with pebbles. Because nothing says alien landscape like a UK beach. Or quarry in the middle of Wales, like a certain other show I know. It's really annoying. I don't think I can get rid of those trees that are there because they're technically out of the borders of the park. Licious colouring in really at this point. Again, don't have to go up all the way to the edges now because you're not going to see a lot of them. Like you don't have to go all the way up to that corner now because you're not going to see it. You're not going to see it. There we go. I do want there to be no grass really though that's visible whenever you're in the park. I don't really want there to be grass here, there and everywhere. I want it to be a sort of very much a deserty, alien, rocky, not really habitable wasteland that people have made habitable and moved in on. I want it to be like Mars or the moon, really. But yeah, with an atmosphere and space time. There we go. Right, there is our pebbles in place. Which now, I mean, yeah, that does change the vibe quite a lot. But it's just going to be a sort of thing of turn the intensity down a little bit, but and maybe the hardness down a little bit, but sprinkle in a few other, ooh, okay, maybe not quite that intense, but just sprinkling a few other textures on it, just so it's not a complete, a bit more intense maybe, just so it's not a complete one pebble landscape, right? We've got a bit more texture on some of the distance and stuff like that. There we go. And we'll get a few different types of the rocks in place. I mean, immediately that looks so much better. There's just a little bit more going on where it hasn't completely replaced the pebbles, it's just sort of added on top of it. That is really what we sort of want. Just sort of layer a few different textures up on top of each other. So they're not, so you don't sort of notice them, they just sort of blend in, really, is the idea I'm going for. There's a few rough rock as well, get some rough rock up in here. Again, maybe not too much, but just sprinkle to add some colour and depth variation and all of that. Sprinkle it in, and we can texture this last little patch that I can build to texture later on. Yeah, get some of that in, maybe make it a little bit more intense, this one. There we go. Yeah, a bit of gravel. Sure, why not? Sprinkle a bit of gravel in. What else have we got? We've also got some large rock, so yeah, get some of that in as well. Ooh, that one's really nice for the distance times. And after this, we'll do one more pebble pass over the top, because I want that to sort of be the sort of surface layer stuff. And then the pebbles, again, one more final layer on top. This is the dominant terrain type here. Yeah, but look at that, lots of different colours and stuff now. It's a million different shades. We really have 50 shades of grey right now. But yeah, no, that's nice. It's just a few little different bits of variation and stuff. It's quite pleasant. And then when you look out from here, this little window, oh, you don't really see it. Okay. Yeah, no, that's nice. And that comes out, and it's, yeah, no, that's the sort of, that is the vibe I wanted. All right, we'll bring this path out to maybe sort of like here. In fact, do we want to change the path type? I can do that as well. Don't know how. It's probably in the path tools. Yeah, just customize. What have we got then? Let's have a little look. I don't want to be building, I just want to colour it in. Customize brush. I just want to colour you in. Oh, I can, like that, okay. So what have we got? We've got stone shell path, don't really think that's right. Ooh. That's alright. Rustic, no. Sandstone, no. Asphalt, maybe. Honestly, the asphalt is winning right now. Not a huge fan of the gravel or the blue on the brig. It's just not right for what we're going for. Blue swirly, that one. Oh, the vinyl is quite nice. That is quite spacey. And of course we can change the colour of it as well. I do like the vinyl, it has to be said. And then there's sort of invisible ones and nature ones, sandy paths and visible paths. Now, I did like the vinyl. Can we change it to a sort of... in fact, if we can change the colours on this... Oh, is that only just like the the sort of base. Oh no, see, because that is quite spacey. Hmm. Yeah, maybe that's a bit bright. I'm looking for something that says future spacetimes. Gravel and that you can't really change the colour for. I do also just like the asphalt. No, see, that's too sort of bright and clean for the sort of vibe I'm going for. I did like this, to be fair, in the sort of black. I know this was supposed to represent roller coasters and stuff, but I do actually just quite like it. So I might I might bring that in for my path types, yeah. So what sort of railing do I want then? I mean, that one is very space, isn't it? Yeah. And that one is very space. So for the railing, we could colour it... Yeah, I think blue and a sort of white is okay. Maybe a sort of darker, though. No, maybe just a white. Is that white too white? No, I like it. I think, honestly, we might need a slightly lighter blue as well. No, that's completely wrong. Completely wrong decision. Yeah. No, I like that. Okay. No, that is cool, that is cool, that's cool, that's cool. That is cool and spacey. Now, I'm not really sure what I want the actual layout and structure of the park to be, but we'll get to that when we get to that. Oh yeah, but this is cool though, isn't it? How cool is this? Right, I want to work out what we're sort of doing. I want to work out sort of what we're doing with lighting. So let's go to sceneries. We'll go to... is that just a lighting one? Props. Lights. We'll see if we've got any just actually in the sci-fi theme. Sci-fi fiberglass light. I can't actually see. See, the trouble is, a lot of the lights don't actually light up until it gets dark in this game, which is a great annoyance. Because if I put this down, for example, but then I actually made it be nighttime, it'd probably come on. Or actually, maybe it wouldn't. Okay, so really we don't have any of the sci-fi lights we can use. Let's just look at normal lights then. I mean, stuff like that could work. Really. Just big sort of spotlights. They could work in a sort of... I think they're aquatic. But to be honest, they do sort of give a space theme. I mean, yeah, no, that doesn't light up at all. If I put you down, can I change your... Surely that's your light colour, isn't it? Yeah. Just white, just pure white. Everything is pure white on you. You know, that hasn't helped at all. Okay. We've got some jellyfish, just normal little lights like that. Lanterns, they're not really right for what we're going for. They are nowhere near strong enough for what we're going for. Yeah, no, I think we're on for a winner with these, to be honest with you. And I can change the colour of them to make them be a little bit more grey. Yeah, that is much more, sci-fi. Yeah. Grey, different shades of grey. You could even say 50. Oh, that is the light. The light can be white. The white's kind of blue. I like it. Alright. Light bulb. Light bulb. Oh, although I'm still at night time, if I go to day, are they going to switch off? 5 PM. 5 PM. They turn on at 5 PM. How light is that out here? It's not really what I want. Okay, what if we go to 8? Are they on at 8? No. They'll be on at 7 though, won't they? Yeah, 7 will be... oh, that's not bad. Then it just means the whole park is in... Can I go to like a specific time? Does it just tick by hour by hour? It just tick by hour by hour. See, I really like the lighting on 4. But the lights don't work at 4. But at 5 o'clock, they do. Well, we'll do it for 5 o'clock for now. We can always change things later as we go and come up with different solutions as I learn them, really. Game? No, I want you to go there. There we are. One there. And then we'll sort of do them roughly sort of opposite either side. So there's one there, put one in the gap. Oh yeah, turn my light on while I'm doing this. There we go. And then one there as well. So how's that? Can you see? Oh, you can see. That's light enough, isn't it? And you can peer through the little hole. Yeah, that's light enough. Okay, no, that's cool. I like that. I like that a lot. I wish I could just pull the sun up a tiny bit, but oh well. Right, what I want to do is I want to quickly see if I can build the ship, and then I might call it here for today. So we're going to go into scenery, we're going to go into everything, but we're going to go into sci-fi, and we're going to search ship. Spaceship sign large. I mean, that's just cockpit, cockpit 2, cockpit 3, cockpit 4. Trim. Okay. You can make buildings. I don't know how you make buildings. Cockpit 1. What you can do as well is we can scale it up so it's really big. Maybe not quite 300, but say, what, 200? Ship hull 5, ship hull 1 large. fit to that at all, does it? Probably be whatever one I did, wasn't it? Cockpit 2. This one probably fit. How do I enter that mode? Yeah, and then have we got thrusters? Engine. And then we'll just leave one sort of over there that's broken, and the turret we're gonna put, he's gonna be over here, but he's gonna be broken, and then that is just gonna be on the floor there, and then that is gonna be on the floor there, and we're gonna have one there, and we're gonna have this one over here, and then really we just need to make it look like the whole thing is just falling apart. Random hull bits. Why did the light just change? What just happened? And then wings and stuff. The wings have come off. How do I want to align to surface? That is not what I wanted. I wanted you to... I don't know the controls. How do I rotate you? Advanced move X. Tick. Advanced move and duplicate is Control X. For God's sake. Advanced move and duplicate. Move that over there. Okay. And there's our crash little ship. And then what we can do is we go into scenery, we go into special effects, and we can turn this off. And we can search for fire, and we don't want fireworks, just want normal fire. We've got fire jet large. Not sure fire jet is what you want, we just want fire. That is the large fire. Can I scale these guys up at all? I can't. Right. I guess I'm just gonna have to get quite a few of them then, aren't I? That fire effect looks really quite nice. Fire a bit there. Fire over here on the top. Another one on the back of this engine. And then on the front of it. Yeah, that bit's on fire. Just sprinkle some fire about the joint. There we go, trying to explode my computer in the meantime. So that corner and that corner are going to be on fire. Actually, that corner and this edge are going to be on fire. There we go. Oh, that is cool. That is cool, you know, and you probably can't see it from here, can you? No. Well, that's good. I'll have smoke as well, please. Big smoke. Smoke burst large. Just smoke effect. I just want it just to have smoke coming out of it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then just sprinkle a couple on the bits where the fires are. Just sort of roughly like that. Doesn't have to be perfect. Is there like a steam? Is there like a just a, or like a mist, like an overall sort of mist I can put in the area? Mist effect huge. Yeah, put a couple of these about. Oh, now. See? Now, is that not cool? And imagine you have a roller coaster and it's going vroom, flying like over that and stuff. Okay, what I want to do, last little bit I want to do, the terrain, I want to actually push that out there and push that out here. Sort of almost create a sort of path. Almost create a sort of little path down. So when you're here, and you... That is the wrong button. Turn the intensity down, turn the size down. So when you come out here, you can sort of... oh, you can see it. Oh, that is nice. That is cool. Right, I just want to quickly paint this bit up here. That's a scenery brush as well. We'll get around to that in a second as well. Repaint that back in the rock and the pebbles and stuff, and then the other rock. Well, the time sped up. I didn't realise that. Oh, that is nice. And then, right, what I'm going to do, last thing I'm going to do today is we're going to go to scenery brush, and there's different rocks we can get, and we can just sprinkle a bunch of, okay, maybe we want slightly less intense. The thing's broken. Good, 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 good. I like it. What other rocks have we got? No game. I'd like to look at what other... No game. I'd like to... Okay, I can do it that way. These have things in it. We don't really want that. Tropical rocks. They're really not... Ugh. Why is that doing that? Why is that doing that? Yeah, this game's a little bit glitchy. Sometimes... Yeah, they are not large. Oh, they're tropical rocks small, that's why. Oh my god. Oh no, they're better, they're better, they're better. What else have we got? Oh wait, am I allowed to see anything else? Can I square brackets or arrow keys or something to... No? Tiger rocks, tropical rocks, Mediterranean rocks, temperate rocks. Now you see they're too sort of like green. They're too pale. There are custom rocks actually. Can I... Yeah, custom rocks. Let's just stick in a bunch of these. Like that. And then we can... Can I not change your... Custom rock. So can I... Yeah, but they're all going to have their own colours. They're going to have their original colours. That's not what I want. Okay. Let's delete these. Yeah, stop. Okay. Struggling, fighting for my life right now. Create new brush objects. We're just gonna go for rock then. Aquatic rocks, custom rocks. All these are sort of the wrong sort of colour. I did like the tropical rock probably the best. So we're gonna select a bunch of these, but we can change the scale of it ourselves so they're bigger. A lot of them are bigger. So we can go maximum scale is big, maximum scale is big, maximum scale is big, and then 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 big. Okay, and we can save it. Alright, and then we can go to this, we can change the size up. And we can just sprinkle around, especially around the crash site and stuff, maybe not quite covering the actual thing itself. But just a few rocks, and then they can always be moved and changed and stuff later on, can't they? But if we just bring in a few little rocks like this, or quite big rocks, again, we can always move them and change them and delete them after the fact. But just like that. I mean, some of them are floating, I'll admit, and they need to die. But is that not cool? Is that not cool? No, I really do like that. Kill the floating ones. Anyway, I think that one's fine. He's not being a harm to anyone. I'd actually like him to come out a bit more. That is where I'm gonna end it then for today. I'm just gonna quickly flatten that out a bit more. No, I'm gonna flatten that out from there a bit more. I think a lot of these things are actually floating a little bit, I'll be honest. There. That's where I'm going to end this today. Thank you for watching. And, ta-ra!